every brother was caught in the crossfire.
Thor is directed by Kenneth Branagh and tells the story of Thor, who's played by Chris Hemsworth himself, and he's about to be crowned the King of Asgard. But when ice giants come breaking into Asgard and destroying his ceremony, he tries to take revenge against the frost giants, but is caught by his father and is sent down to Earth to learn about his own humanity and how to become a king and a better person. And so we see him with people like Jane Foster and Darcy, and they're basically like trying to teach him the ways of being human. Even though he's sort of a fish out of water in this movie, he's an Asgardian who has no idea how this world works, but he is just trying to find a way to be human once again and learn from his flaws, alongside Loki, who had different plans. And that's something that, if you haven't seen the film, there's so much with Loki's character that I do not want to spoil for you guys. Thor is a pretty underrated movie also, in my opinion. Like The Incredible Hulk, this movie is underappreciated, or so I think. A lot of people have grown to love this movie over the years, I think, but there's still that little group of people that don't seem to really like the movie all that much and thought it was fine. Watching it again, I would say that this is probably my second favorite Thor film. I mean, there's just so much to love about it. The music, the cinematography and filmmaking, the editing, the actors' performances, the tone. It is a fantastic movie that I think is underappreciated. I think Kenneth Branagh gave such a good vision for this film. He gave something like, this is like the Lord of the Rings of the MCU. It is grand, it is epic, it is out there, it is adventurous, it is funny, it is heartfelt, and the music swells you up. The soundtrack of this movie is probably one of my favorites in the MCU. I still listen to it, even though before, when I thought the movie was okay, the soundtrack has always stuck with me. When I think of Thor, I think of it's the first movie soundtrack. I love it. It is definitely worth the pickup. And all this stuff in Asgard, top notch. The special effects were great. I got no problems. And Tom Hiddleston as Loki, this is probably my favorite version of Loki, honestly, because Tom Hiddleston gave such a naive, humble, yet very damaged performance to this character, who learned so much about his past that it really triggers something in him to be who he is today. And this basically starts his character development throughout all these films, and I thought the portrayal of Loki here was fantastic. I think Tom Hiddleston did a fantastic job in the film, and this is probably one of my favorite performances from him. But easily the standout is Chris Hemsworth as Thor. You see him as a god who still does not understand his place in his own world or even in Earth. He's still very naive. He's still arrogant. And you see him trying to learn how to become human with all these people that he never even hanged out with. And because of that, his humanity starts to grow. And out of his character comes something humble. Something that you could attach to the character with. And the way he's portraying this film was great. I love the character of Thor. And while all the other supporting actors did a great job, I think the two standouts were Loki and Thor. And those are the two characters you need to get right in this film. The antagonist and the protagonist. I wouldn't even call Loki a villain. Just an antagonist that has a different viewpoint from Thor. and he sort of goes the same path as Thor went from the beginning. So it's sort of a reversal. Honestly, there's just so much to love about this film that talking about it could not even justify. If I'll say that if I have any problem with the film, it would have to be that some of the supporting characters can be a bit annoying, and some of the stuff down from Earth does become uninteresting compared to what's on Asgard. And there is a few Dutch angles, which there's a lot of in this film, that kind of felt a little style over substance, and it sort of bothered me after a while. But overall, Thor, I thought, was a really fantastic film, and I highly recommend you guys go check it out if you haven't. I am going to give Thor an A-. That's it. I covered all of the Marvel Cinematic Universe films leading up to Endgame. All from the first Iron Man to Captain Marvel. And by April 26th, we are going to get Endgame. Endgame. I cannot wait. Honestly, this is an 11-year wait. That's probably going to be worth it at the end. And honestly, I couldn't be more happier and more excited. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave a like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you guys next time.
So heaven, if you sent us down, so we can build a playground for the sin.